Hello, Bitcoin plebs and bulls. Big news today. Bitcoin has a new all-time high again at $69,000. Just few minutes after the numbers of the Fed were public, everyone got to know that the inflation now in October was 6.2%. But let's go and see what is happening here with the Bitcoin price. So right now we have a new all-time high of 68,997.75 cents, which puts Bitcoin only $2 away from the $69,000 line. This is a new all-time high again after just a new all-time high around 68,400 just yesterday or 2 days ago. So completely crazy price action after the numbers of the Fed were announced. Let me just check the daily chart. So we had a new all-time high yesterday. This was yesterday at 68,540. Today we have a new all-time high at 68,997. So we are just $2.25 away from $69,000 for Bitcoin, which is amazing. So this is another, on the daily chart, I will consider this another cup and handle. If the handle happens, we will break out of this in a fury, as you guys know already. Let's go back to the weekly chart. And before that, I will just show you guys what is the news. The big news, just updated some time ago. Inflation spiked in October, sinking Washington's hopes that price gains would slow down. This is the big news, and it's not only for Bitcoin, it was also for gold. I will just show you guys. Gold is exploding to the upside, also getting away of the handle of the 10-year cup and handle that I have been showing on the show several times. So people are still joining, and I welcome. Of course, this was a bit on top of the hour. I just started the stream and I hardly had the time to publish the link for you guys, but it's already on Twitter, Mastodon, Facebook, and the usual places, also on Telegram group. Everyone knows already that I'm live, so I will be joining. I will be joined for more people, I guess. We are just starting the stream, but this is the big news today. So I'm just reading the news. I only had the time to see the headline before starting the stream. I will just read the news for you guys as we go with the stream here. Consumer inflation surged in October as fuel costs picked up, supply chains remained under pressure, and rents moved higher. Everything is going to the moon. The prices are rising everywhere in all classes, in all asset classes. Fuel, energy, everything, housing, everything is going up. Bad news for economic policymakers at the Federal Reserve and for the Biden White House, which had been emphasizing a recent slowdown in price gains, which of course everyone knows it's a complete lie. Look at the graph. Look at the graph here. The chart shows it all. We are at 6.2, and this is according to the official CPI, which of course is bullshit. So everyone knows that this is not a real number. The real number is now in between 10 and 15%. But officially, the Fed had to recognize that according to the CPI that they use, which I said already is BS, this is now an increase of more than 1.5% in inflation in just 1 month. Just 1 month, we spiked like that in the United States. So inflation picked up to 0.9% last month, which is not true because this was 4.5% before. So it's much more than 0.9. From September, a Labor Department report showed faster than the prior month's increase of 0.4% and well above economists' expectations. So-called core price gains, which strip out products like food and fuel, also accelerated. Overall, prices have climbed by 6.2% over the past 12 months, the fastest pace since 1990. So this is the highest increase in the shortest amount of time since 1990. And the Fed continues to say that inflation is transitory. And then after that, no, it's not so transitory anymore. And after that, inflation is actually good for the economy. So they don't know what to say anymore. I guess the Fed has no hands anymore in the economy, on the economy, and everything is going nuts. So the fresh data scupper a White House talking point Officials had regularly pointed out that while price gains were faster than usual, at least they were slowing down from rapid summertime readings, which actually is not true again. So, but instead of cooling off toward the end of 2022, as many policymakers had expected, inflation rates remain far faster than the 2% annual gains the Federal Reserve aims for an average over time. So you guys can see, I'm not going to read the entire news. You guys can see this. This is all over the newspapers today, not just the New York Times, but many other media outlets out there. And everyone, at least the economy sections on mainstream media, are already talking about this. This is the highest increase in inflation since 1990. So guys, that is one of the reasons why Bitcoin is going up. And let's look at the charts again. Let's also check gold. So Bitcoin today, just after this news was public, started to spike up, and we have a new all-time high of $69,000. Also gold. Look at gold, how gold is going up like crazy since the week started. We started the week around 1800 and it's now at 1865, almost 65. Actually, the all-time high of gold is $1,868 per ounce. And this was, let me just put it on the daily chart and let's see exactly. Look how much gold has spiked only today, just starting from today, this amazing candle here. So everything that is useful as a hedge against the inflation of the US dollar is now spiking up. But this is just gold. Gold, as you guys know, is like a snail, so it takes a long time to actually move. But Bitcoin has been moving a lot today, and that's what really counts. So this is the weekly chart for Bitcoin. Let me just say also that we don't have only an all-time high for Bitcoin today. We also have a new all-time high on the total market cap. The yellow circle was the previous all-time high that I showed you guys on Monday. And today we have a new all-time high. I have to move the circle up, and the new all-time high is here at the top. So here we are, new all-time highs everywhere on the total market cap, and this was, let me check here, high $3 trillion. Finally, we just touched the $3 trillion. This is amazing. I was not even expecting that we already achieved the $3 trillion in total market cap for all digital coins, of course, being the main one, Bitcoin. That's what matters the most. So looking at the chart, looks very good. So we have a lot of all-time highs to discuss today. We have an all-time high on the total market cap. We have an all-time high in Bitcoin, and I'm sure that gold is also going for new all-time highs soon, probably above the $2,000 per ounce, but we will talk about that later. So the total market cap is continuing the move to the upside, breaking out of the cup and handle that we discussed weeks ago. The first time I showed this was weeks ago, and I said as soon as we break out of this handle, this will take us to 3.65 trillion, which we are now just shy of 650 billion to get to that number. So we are continuing to climb up, and that is accordingly to the expectations I had many weeks ago when I plotted this cup and handle, and I said to you guys that we would go to 3.65 trillion. This is the way, and we will be there probably by the end of the year, or the latest probably first quarter of 2022. So let's see how that goes. We continue to break higher than the resistance context, which of course makes the trend channel go up like crazy. We have now the bottom of the trend channel total market cap at 2.25 trillion, and we have, I will have to zoom, I cannot see it very well. We are above the trend channel. So the trend channel right now is not even moving to the upside yet, but the top of the trend channel is at 2.85 trillion, and we finally touched the 3 trillion mark on the total market cap for the first time in history. This is really important So I really appreciate doing this live right now. I was watching the charts, I saw that everything was going up, and I decided to anticipate this live today. Instead of just waiting for 3 p.m. Portuguese time, we started a bit earlier as soon as I could. I was getting home by that time and watching the prices on my phone. So right now, everything looks like crazy. The bulls are completely in control. Everyone is trying to hedge against the inflation. The Fed is doing us a favor. Actually, the Fed is working in parallel with Bitcoiners to make Bitcoin the most valuable asset in the world. And we will achieve that really, really soon. If we continue at this pace with the inflation like that, this will be very, very easy, guys. Very easy. The Fed is just making our life very easy, and that's what I like to see when I look at the charts. So right now, nothing else I can say. We continue to rise the prices of the total market cap and also Bitcoin and other shitcoins also taking advantage of this move and copying the moves of Bitcoin, of course. So some people still believe that putting money into shitcoins will give them lots of money in 2 or 3 days, which is not what is expected of Bitcoin. So anyway, total market cap continues to be great. We are above the resistance, so this means that the probabilities of a correction to the downside increase. You guys know this already, so be careful with that. Continue to look at the charts and focus on resistances and supports. Right now, if we have the worst case scenario for a reversal of the price action to the downside, if we have a big correction here, would be, in my opinion, 2.25 trillion, which is the bottom of the trend channel. Also very, very close at 2.05 trillion. We have the 50% context line. So I am not expecting, if we have the worst case scenario happening, I'm not expecting it to go below this area here, which I will point out for you guys. This would be the area that I would consider as the worst case scenario right now. If we have a correction, it would be in between the 50% context line and the bottom of the trend channel. And this goes from 2.05 trillion to 2.25 trillion. So that would be my worst case scenario if something really bad happens and we have a correction. But I'm not expecting that to happen so soon because the bulls are in control right now. The Fed is giving us a hand just by announcing inflation going crazy in the United States, and that of course will help us to will help Bitcoin and the total market cap to increase in price valuation. Okay, let's see here the Bitcoin chart. So this is the weekly chart for Bitcoin right now. As I said before, we went to a high of $68,997, which is, in my book, $69,000, new all-time high. Also, the RSI is finally crossing the 70% line, but I need a weekly close above this. I need the week to close and the RSI to be above the 70% line here so that we can confirm that the trigger might be happening for the parabolic move to the upside. And I will get back to you guys later. So if the RSI continues to be above the 70% line by the end of this week, by the close of the weekly candle, probably we have our signal already. We have the trigger that might indicate the beginning of the final phase of this bull cycle, which could be the parabolic move to the upside, to the blow off top as usual, as we are used to have in Bitcoin. So right now, we are still on a 6 of 9, a green count, 6 of 9. I'm expecting at least 2 or 3 more weeks of upside. We might really go to the number I plotted on the screen for the cup and handle for Bitcoin, which is around $74,000. If we have at least 2 more weeks of upside before a correction, we are exactly at that level in between $75,500, $74,500, $75,000, and that's what I'm expecting to happen before we have an MRI top on the weekly chart. And when that happens, you guys know already, 1 to 4 candle correction. We don't know how many, if 1, 2, 3, or 4. It could be any count in between 1 and 4 candle correction, and then continuation to the upside. That's what the MRI indicator says in the rules, and that's what has been happening. As you guys know, here we had it before the 9 count, 1 to 4 candle correction, continuation to the upside, consolidation at the all-time high, high resistance here, very difficult to break the MRI resistance. And now this week, we have been seeing new all-time highs almost every day, because the all-time high started on Tuesday and now it's Wednesday. So we have been on this week for 3 days and 2 of them had all-time highs already. Incredible week for Bitcoin. Right now, everything looks nice. The consensus also looks nice. The moving averages are all in order. 20 period here, the 50, the 100 and the 200 are all in order. And the volume continues to decrease a bit. That's one thing I don't like. But the breakout of the triangle was really, really nice according to any textbook. We broke out, we came back down, found support on top of the triangle and continuation to the upside. So everything looks nice right now. I don't have any reasons to believe that Bitcoin will have a big correction really soon. I'm expecting still a bit more of an upside, at least to 74,000, 75,000, around those numbers, and then we will reevaluate again. Okay, so that's it for the weekly chart. Let me just put this in auto again. So you guys know my targets already. I believe that we are still going to 74, 75, around those numbers. Probably if there's a lot of FOMO, we could even exceed the expectations and go a bit further, probably close to 80, but I'm not going that far. I'm a bit conservative right now because we are well known. It's very well known that we are very extended already to the upside. So we might have to wait some time before achieving those levels. Right now, the RSI level looks very nice. We are above the 70. I need the weekly close to confirm this trigger. The MACD on the weekly chart also looks very nice. We continue to increase the gap between the two lines, and the bars are increasing also the gap to the previous bar. So this is bullish on the MACD, the weekly MACD. The third oscillator here is also very bullish, continues to increase. And that's it for the weekly chart. Look, everything looks nice. So I like what I'm seeing right now. Now we can go to the daily chart here and check what's going on. So we had an all-time high here on Monday, on the 8th. So we had an all-time high on Monday, we had an all-time high on Tuesday, and we have an all-time high today. Actually, I was wrong. We had an all-time high every day this week. So the week has been only on for 3 days, and we had already 3 all-time highs, each one on each day of the week. And that looks very nice. I never seen that in Bitcoin before. 3 all-time highs in 3 consecutive days. So let's see how that goes. Right now on the daily chart, we are very close also to cross the 70% line on the RSI, which will put us in overbought territory and overextended to the upside. We have 2 extensions on this move, A and B, but we are still on a green 4 of 9 on the daily chart, and probably because of the numbers of the Fed, we will continue to see some more FOMO during the day, probably taking us above the 69,000. That's what I'm hoping for, at least to start some more consolidation around those levels. Here, the MACD, finally, as I said, finally we have a positive MACD on the daily chart. So yesterday we had the crossover of the lines. The blue is now above the orange and increasing the gap between the two. And we have already 2 green bars on the daily MACD, which is also bullish signal. So very nice to see. Weekly chart, daily chart, and probably the 4-hour chart, where you can see the bigger move of Bitcoin today. As soon as we touch the 20-period SMA on the 4-hour chart, and there she goes to the upside. So we just corrected a bit already. We were around 69,000 and now the price is around 68,425. So we had a 500 and few bucks correction already, but I'm expecting this FOMO to continue as the numbers of the Fed get to be known around the world and people start to hedge against the inflation, probably spiking Bitcoin a bit higher than 69,000. Let's see how the day goes. I will keep looking at the charts, of course, as you guys know. And let's take a look at the dollar now. The dollar is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Guys, 7 weeks. Let me zoom in so you guys can see it. 7 candles, 7 weeks. The dollar has been trying to overcome the MRI resistance around the 94.2 on the Dixie and being rejected every time. The dollar is not able to go above the 94.2 on the Dixie, and this is already a warning an MRI top warning for the dollar here this week. So let's see next week if we continue like this. Probably we'll have an MRI top and correction after that. So let's see what happens with the dollar. It's trying to fight its way up, but not being able to cross the resistance here at the MRI. So I'm really disappointed with the dollar, and actually it's the opposite. I'm really happy with the dollar not being able to continue to the upside. Probably next week this will be an MRI top and we will see a correction of the dollar again. So let's see where this will take us in a few days. Gold. So just to continue what I was saying before, gold finally is trying to break out of the handle. You guys know already the 10-year cup and handle that I plotted some time ago, basically at the same time as I also found out about the cup and handle on Bitcoin's price. And here it is, gold is now trying to break above the handle and starting to be bullish. So let's see where gold will take us, but I'm sure that this is all happening because of the numbers of the Fed that started to get known today. Inflation at 6.2 according to the BS CPI that they are using. So it's not, of course, 6.2, it's in between 10 and 15% in real terms. But according to the official CPI, the Fed announced 6.2% inflation in October, giving us the highest spike in inflation since the 1990s. So this is, of course, triggering every gold bug out there, buying gold like this, and gold started to explode to the upside today, as well as Bitcoin also started to explode at the same time. I was actually looking at my phone driving to come home, and I was watching this in real time. As soon as I heard the news on Twitter that the Fed had published the numbers and this was 6.2, I went immediately to see the charts and I saw this. So that's why we are having this live a bit sooner than usual. Okay, guys, I guess that everyone is already informed about what's happening. The S&P, sorry for that, the S&P not knowing what to do exactly right now. We have this week has been just consolidating at the top, so we don't have any all-time high today for the S&P. But look at this, guys. I will just leave you guys right now with the final chart as usual, the bigger outlook for Bitcoin, and it looks amazing to see this chart and see that this line here, the line of the price action, the green dotted line on top of your screens, is above any other peak. And that's amazing. You know what this means, guys? It means that everyone in the world that has bought Bitcoin since its inception in 2009 or even yesterday is now in profit. This means that the price action right now, with the current price action, no one in this world is losing money by having Bitcoin. And that's the important message that I would like to pass on to you guys, that everyone right now is in profit by having Bitcoin. Even if you bought it yesterday at the peak, you now have some profit on top of that. So that's amazing. Let's see if anyone has any questions. Please put them in the chat. I know that I started this live stream without any notice. I hardly had the time to announce it on Telegram. But as I was seeing Bitcoin price spiking to the upside and gold, I also wanted to go live and give the news to everyone that follows the channel. So I see you guys there. I see that we now have much more people here watching the stream, but unfortunately I didn't have so much time to announce it before going live. I just wanted to catch the spiking of Bitcoin and gold while the numbers of the inflation were public. So guys, if you have any questions, put them in the chat. I probably will not be here much longer for the stream, but if you guys want to start by 1 or 2 questions, I will be gladly I will answer them. You guys know what to do already. Just mention the channel's name. So start by the @ symbol, the email symbol, and then F space money, and YouTube will give you the completion on top, so you guys can mention me or the channel, not me, the channel, and then I will see an orange box on that question, so it's much easier. And I just mentioned that you should mention the questions, and someone just asked me something without mentioning anything. It's amazing, guys. I'm glad it's not so many people asking stuff right now. That's why I can see the question. But if this was like those crazy chats that don't stop, I would not see any questions like that. Okay, let's see here. Who is us? Man, I don't know about any Bitcoin conferences or shitcoin conferences. I don't even care about shitcoin conferences, as you guys know. But let me try to read the question in a better way. What's the vibe like there with all the crypto conferences going on? I don't know about any crypto conferences going on. I just know about the main ones, the one in Miami, which will be in April next year. I heard about some conference in Texas a few days ago, but I don't know if I understand the question, if there are any conferences in Portugal right now, or are you referring to the Web Summit or something like that? I did not go to the Web Summit. If you are talking about that, I refused to go to the Web Summit because they had shitcoiners giving speeches there. So I will not condone any conference where there are shitcoiners. I refused to go to the Web Summit because of that, because they had shitcoiners there speaking to the audience. So I will only go to conferences where you can talk and discuss about the only true coin, which is Bitcoin. So if you're talking about the Web Summit, that's my, it's public already, because I also published this on LinkedIn and several other social media, saying that I was refusing to go there because of shitcoins. And of course, I don't know about any other conferences in Portugal right now. So I hope I understood your question and this is what you wanted to hear. Let's see if anyone else made any more questions. No mentions whatsoever. Oh, there is one mention here, finally. Yeah, thank you, Felipe Rodrigues. Let's see. Do you think that after the 74K correction, we will still be able to get to 90 at the end of month, according to Plan B? Yes, I do. If the bulls continue to be in control, and I guess the bears are losing strength every day because they finally understand that Bitcoin will never stop going up, even with corrections of 80%. If you look at the overall picture like this, if you look at this picture here, you put this on a weekly chart and you look at this, and since the beginning of Bitcoin in 2010, which is the oldest data that we can have on charts, it's 2010. So you guys can see that even with big corrections that we had, like 85%, 75% here, again, a lot of percentage here, the overall picture of Bitcoin is continuing to go up to infinity. So it's designed to go up. It's deflationary. So it will always go up, because as long as there is people wanting to buy Bitcoin and there is no supply, it will always go up in price. So that's the design of Bitcoin, and that's why we have some corrections. We have like 80% corrections, but in overall terms, it will always go up. It's designed to do that. Satoshi designed it to do that. So in this perspective, of course, I believe that we will always go up. Now, the question is the timing to achieve certain targets like 90,000 or 100,000 or 200,000, stuff like that. So that's the big deal. That's the most important thing that we can only speculate on, and no one knows the future. And of course, I believe that if we keep this space, and if the past is of some relevance to understand the present, of course, I would say it's still possible to go to 100K by the end of the year, probably close to 90 by the end of November, and probably even above 100K, a bit above 100K by the end of this year, by the end of December. But if that doesn't happen in December, then the time is on our side. So we just have to wait. You have to buy and hodl and wait. And eventually it will come to 100K, and it will come to 200K and to 500,000. And eventually in the future, I don't know when, Bitcoin will be worth 1 million per coin. So it's designed to do that. So the only thing we can speculate is when this could happen. And of course, looking at the chart, I still believe that it's possible to achieve 100K this year, probably a bit above, let's say 120, 130. If that doesn't happen in December, probably it will happen in the first quarter of 2022. So I'm not really worried about that. I'm just, actually, I'm not even worried at all about Bitcoin, because I know this will always go up and the dollar will always go down, and the inflation is going to kill the dollar, and Bitcoin will be the standard in the future. So this is what I know, this is what I believe. So I hope I answered your question. I still consider Plan B to be one of the more relevant people on chain analysis, and of course his stock to flow model. And I believe that we will achieve very, very close, if not a bit above 90K by the end of November, and probably a bit above 100K in December if everything goes according to the plan. So let's see. But what we can see right now is this wonderful chart where the price action line is above any other candle in the last 13 years. Almost 13. It will be in January, 13 years. Okay? So that's the amazing thing. Let's see if there are any more questions. Yes. Okay, so Rafas wants to understand how the Fibonacci's are plotted. I will, let's see, put some Fibonacci levels or retracements on the chart to teach us how to do it. Okay, I will do it. I did this in a past video, so you should have seen it, but I will just do it right now. But this will be the last question, because I don't want to have a very long video today. This is an intra-week video, so it should be around 25-30 minutes, and we are over that time already. So what I'm going to do is get the levels for a possible retracement here or a possible move to the upside. And let me just hide the question here so we have more space, and I will put it in full screen. So what happens here is I will turn off auto here. Don't forget, this is a logarithmic chart. So okay, so this is logarithmic chart, so you have to adjust the Fibonacci levels to logarithmic charts. Okay, let's start for a possible retracement from this all-time high, and I will start here at this candle, and I will put it at the top all-time high here, 69. Okay, 69, I will just leave it like that. This is just to show how you do it. And let's see if the logarithmic is turned on. Log scale. Okay, so you have to turn on this. Don't forget, if you are using a log chart, you have to check this option on the Fibonacci retracement tool. Fib levels based on log scale. Okay, you have to do that if you want to use it on a log chart. So that's it. So here we have the levels, and of course this is adjusted for a logarithmic chart. If you want to see a possible retracement level from the all-time high, you have to start your Fibonacci from the lowest point of the reversal of the price action, and clearly this is this point or this point. You can use any of those two, because this one was actually lower, but this one was very, very close. So just for the purpose of plotting this in a very understandable way, I will start my Fibonacci retracement tool here, which is almost the same level as there. But to be 100% accurate, it should be plotted from this point. But in any case, it's the same thing. It's almost the same, so the levels will be almost the same. You start here, you take it to the all-time high, and then you get the levels of a possible retracement. So a first level of retracement would be around 56,400 for the 23.6% Fibonacci, but the most probable one usually is the 38.2% retracement Fibonacci, which would be around 49,757, which is this one here. And by the way, it coincides with the support of this peak and that peak, and also with the support of this resistance, previously resistance, now support, peak local top here, which was around 52,000. So these are the possible levels for a retracement. I don't believe that we will retrace more than that, because for that to happen, we would have to cross this trend line that goes here in diagonal. And if we cross that line to the downside, it means very bad things could happen. So I'm not I don't believe that in a bull market we should cross this trend line to the downside. This trend line has been here since the beginning of times, probably since I plotted it here around October 2020, when we started from the COVID crash of March 2020, and the parabolic move started in October of 2020, and I touched those 2 points. And as you guys can see, after all this move, it touched again here. Here it never touched and continues to go to the upside. So this trend line is of major importance to me, and that is one of the reasons I don't believe that the price of Bitcoin will cross it to the downside unless we achieve a blow off top and we start a bear market again. So this will be one of the most important indicators for me if we start a bear market, which means that we would cross this to the downside. But for now, that's why I believe that retracements for Fibonacci would go only to 23.6% or 38.2% and never below this trend line, because that would mean going to 61.8% below the trend line. So this is the Fibonacci that you should use if you want to calculate a retracement. Now, if you want to understand where can we go from here if we continue to go to the upside, this is a different Fibonacci. So you start it in the opposite way. Okay, let me just remove that. And that's what you do. You go to the previous all-time high, which is this one, and then you go to the low 29,000, around 29,000 here. So let me just see, this is 28.781. It's correct like that. So this is the way to see where we can go to the upside. And the move to the upside gives us a first level of 23.6, around $78,000, which actually corresponds to the cup and handle pattern that I said before, which would go around to 75. So 75, 78, something around those levels. This is the 23.6% Fibonacci to the upside after this retracement. So this is where we could go from that all-time high to the upside if this bull market continues to go up. The second level of 38.2 would be already very extended, but you guys can see here 88,537, really close to the 90,000 that Plan B has been discussing for the end of November. So this is the Fibonacci line, which actually also agrees with the 90K level. Of course, you will never get exactly the same numbers. So, of course, Plan B says 90,000, Fibonacci says 88,500. So it's only $1,500 difference. But in these levels, $1,000 is nothing. So it's like a hair, and it's completely irrelevant if it goes to 88,500 or 90. It's exactly the same. So according to Fibonacci, this is the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement level if we continue to go to the upside, which confirms the $90,000 of Plan B to the end of November. If we go above that level and we cross the 100K mark by this year or by the beginning of next year, this would be around the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level, which would take us to around $107,265. So this is the way you use Fibonacci's to just to confirm previous levels or targets that also the patterns give you from the analysis, the technical analysis that you do. So according to my cup and handle on Bitcoin, the level of 78,000 on Fibonacci is very close to 75, which is the cup and handle target. So I would believe that this is one of the levels that could be achieved very easily because of that pattern. 75 to 78, it's a minimum difference of $3,000, which is nothing in this context. So I believe that this is the next level we could achieve before some retracement could occur. So I hope I explained how to use this here just by doing it for the two possibilities that all the markets always have, which is going up or going down. And then you have the levels. If you believe the market is going up, this is the targets you should consider. If you believe the market is going down, then the previous Fibonacci I plotted on the screen is what you should consider also. Okay, so I hope I helped you with that. And this answers your question. Never forget, if you are using a log chart, you have to adjust your Fibonacci tool to be in log charting also. or the levels will not be accurate. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, Rufus, don't worry, because of course everyone that is so he's saying that it's not just for him, but everyone else could also learn how to do it. But and also the halvings will contribute to always go up. Is that exactly? So the halvings decrease the supply, and if you decrease the supply of Bitcoin, of course you will always have more demand than supply, and this is what Satoshi designed to happen, to always have the supply decreasing and the demand increasing, which takes the price higher. So you are totally correct, and this was a designed feature by Satoshi to, of course, make a deflationary currency which will always go up. Okay, so so yeah, Rufus was saying that thank you podcast. It wasn't just for me. Everyone can learn, of course. If I did this, it's for everyone, but you requested it, and I'm glad you did, because sometimes some people just get shy and they don't ask me any questions. So in this case, I thank you for the question. It was a possibility to show some more people here on the chat how to plot the Fibonacci retracement tools. Of course, we had an expert here not so long ago. We had Fibo Swanny here on the show, and if you look at the videos on the channel, you will find the video where Fibo Swanny was here live with me and teaching us all his magic about Fibonacci retracements and how his strategy is used on the markets. And of course, if you like Fibonacci's, you should watch that video. Go look at the channel and you will find it. It's the picture of Fibo Swanny with a black background, so it's really easy to find on the interview series on the playlist. So you can also go to the playlist of the interviews and you will find it really easily there. If you didn't watch it, go watch it. It's amazing. Very good video, by the way. Okay, so guys, I don't want to make it very, very long today. I have to go. This is already overextended to the upside also, the timing on this video. So I'm really happy. Just to summarize everything, let me go back. Not this way. Let me just show you guys what's triggering the markets today. Inflation spiked in October according to the CPI, official CPI measures of the Fed. Of course, this CPI they use is BS. So everyone knows the real inflation is above 10%, in between 10 and 15%. However, the fact that the Fed announced 6.2% official inflation in the United States triggered Bitcoin to go to the upside, making a new all-time high of $69,000 today, and also gold going to the upside, also $1,868 per ounce of gold. So all the tools we have to fight inflation, to hedge against the inflation, gold and Bitcoin spiked up also as soon as these numbers were public. So that's it, what I have for you guys today. I'm sorry. Okay, let me I have one teaser on the chat. I have to address it now. Let's see here. Being a maximalist is much more. So the question is, let me just tease you a bit. As a maximalist, why do you care about price? Well, everyone cares about the price, because being a maximalist is not being a communist that, you know, markets I don't care about the markets. I don't care about speculation. It's not nothing like that. Being a maximalist means that you only believe, or you believe that only one coin is the real coin and the honest coin and the one that was designed to make the financial revolution in the world. All the other coins only appeared because their leaders or founders or whatever you want to call them just wanted to get rich. This is the difference between Bitcoin, which no one knows who created it, and this is also one of the reasons why it's the only 100% decentralized, versus all other shitcoins, which we know who the leaders are. They were, many of them, pre-mined, many of them don't even use proof of work, so they don't prove anything, and they cannot be trusted. So being a maximalist is believing that the financial revolution is what counts. Of course, if I'm 100% in Bitcoin and I'm not working for any company or nothing like that. I have to make money to survive. And of course, being a maximalist means I have a big position of Bitcoin in HODL, but being a trader also means that I have a percentage of my portfolio always trading in the markets, not daily, but I'm more of a swing trader, but also to increase my Bitcoin position. So if you want to know, I don't really care about euros or dollars or anything like that. I buy everything I can with Bitcoin. And if I can't, then I can use my debit card, which will go to the exchange and exchange Bitcoin for fiat if I really need to use it on that day. But my life is now in Bitcoin terms. I don't use euros anymore. I don't calculate my expenses in euros. I calculate, even my portfolio is calculated in Bitcoin terms. So I don't really care about fiat. This is another shitcoin controlled by central banks just to take your wealth and your property away from you. And don't forget what they said. They said that in a few years, I believe this was around 2030, you will own nothing and you will be happy. And this was published by the World Economic Forum. So they are not even trying to hide it. They are not even trying to hide it. They are taking away everything they can from everyone. And the only good thing that was created to fight against this was Bitcoin. And all the other coins are just fads and they will die in time. And they were created to make the creators rich and to feed the minds of people that believe they can get rich in 2 days. So they are just fads. And the only thing that was created to help us fight this oppression of central banks and governments, totalitarianism, is Bitcoin. And that's what's being a maximalist. Being a maximalist is believing in this revolution, financial revolution. So I took already too much time of the video, but I enjoyed that you teased me and that you triggered my answer. I also wanted to say this. I discussed this already in the Portuguese content video on the Portuguese channel when I had the conversation with Fred Antunes, and I was not able probably to explain it so well as I did now, but that's what being a maximalist is, completely the opposite of a fundamentalist. So, you know, maximalists are not terrorists. Maximalists are people that believe in the vision of Satoshi. That's it. Okay, guys, I really enjoyed the question, by the way, this teaser sent by Sergio, and I'm glad he did because I was able to explain what maximalism really is. Okay, yeah, so no worries, much appreciated for your sincere answer. And yeah, I'm here to, you know, I will always tell you guys the truth. I will never lie about anything I do or think. So this is my my personality works like that. Okay, guys, thank you very much for being here today. Let me just share with you, of course. Oh, I always forget to hide the messages before putting this on screen. So here it is. The links that you guys should follow if you want to follow my work and if you want to support the channels. The first one on top is my personal Twitter account. The second one in the middle is the channel's Twitter account where I announce all the videos and everything that will happen. And the third one is the Telegram group that you can join. More than 560 people already on that Telegram group discussing Bitcoin and the markets in general 24 hours a day. I'm also there every time I'm not live streaming or recording a video or sleeping. So of course you guys can address me directly there and ask your questions if you want. I will be gladly answering every one of you. And that's it for today. You can also find these links on the video notes below, so don't forget that. You can see it on screen, but you can also copy paste from the video notes below. And right now I will leave you guys with the usual words of wisdom.
All right, let's roll. Hey, let's be careful out there.
Exactly, guys. If you enjoy this content, gently touch the like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload or stream. And let's roll and be really careful out there in the markets. And I wish you all a happy Wednesday with a new all-time high in Bitcoin. Until Friday, I will see you then. Bye-bye.